Hello and welcome to the Amy
And Kyle.
Adventures Podcast, also known as the AK Podcast. This is the podcast where we talk about all things marriage, mental health and cycling. And yeah, when we remember, it's out weekly, which we've been doing quite well with recently actually.
We have.
This will be our second to last podcast before we head to France, because on the 25th of June we're heading out to France for me to do my big challenge. So one more left and then we definitely won't have time to record the podcast while I'm cycling over 4,000 miles around France. So
Yeah. And a podcast isn't quite the same when you're on your own.
No. You could do it from the car, but it might be a bit boring.
Yeah, maybe. Talking to myself.
Yeah.
There'll be plenty of that going on.
Yeah. So we'll start off with an update of what we've been doing recently. So I've literally just got back from Scotland. Did my last big training ride. So I cycled. Basically, I got invited to see the end of the Women's Tour of Britain in Glasgow. And my coach wanted me to do like one last big training ride. So I thought, I'll cycle up to Glasgow. So it was 300 miles. I didn't do it all in one day. I did 125 miles the first day, so that's 200 kilometres from Derby to Lancaster. And then the second day I did 280 kilometres, which is 175 miles from Lancaster up to Glasgow. I was a bit nervous before I went because I went completely on my own because, Kyle, you couldn't come, could you?
No.
Because you were doing work.
On the house.
Important housework. What a hero. So I cycled on my own, but my very lovely mum did meet me in Lancaster because she gets free train travel because where my dad used to work. So she thought she'd hop on the train and meet me. So that was really nice. And then when I got to Glasgow, some people from Pinarello were there. So that was really nice. So they kept my bike for me nice and safe. And they even drove my bike home for me because I was really getting stressed because I got the train home and I was getting so stressed about bringing my bike home on the train that it was actually one of the things that was like making me most stressed about the ride. I was thinking I'm going to have to sit for 6 hours with my bike on the train back from Glasgow because I am not leaving it. First, I'm not leaving it on its own to get stolen, and secondly, someone might scratch it. So my plan was to go and find a blanket to buy in Glasgow, wrap the blanket round it on the train and sit with it. But I didn't have to do that thanks to lovely Joe at Pinarello. So.
Hand delivered.
Hand delivered at 8 a.m. in the morning.
7 a.m?
7 a.m, yeah. It got up well early,
It's literally as I was leaving for work.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the ride was hard. The 125 miles the first day, I went through the Peak District and then through the Trough of Bowland. Mm-hmm. And it was a trough.
Beautiful place.
It was a trough to get through, I tell you. It was hard. But it wouldn't normally be a hard ride. It was because it was like a headwind all day. And the day before, we had a very exciting day in London, didn't we, Carl, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
So I was a bit tired out from that. And then the second day, the 175 mile day, it was just like I looked at the weather forecast and it forecast rain all day. And I had a headwind all day again and then on and off rain all day. So there were moments in that ride where I was really like, because I was on my own, I had to self-motivate. But I got through it, I did it, and it was all good practice. And I managed to stay quite positive. So I was happy with that. And it felt good to finish and know that now it's taper time, reducing the miles, and just getting everything prepped for Tour de France, ordering everything, and just, getting the mindset ready and getting...
Time to be well rested.
Well rested and on with it, really. But how was your weekend at home while I was away?
Just extremely busy. Didn't really stop. But it's all important stuff, all exciting stuff. It was nice to get some progress.
There's been a garden update.
There's been a garden update. The extension's nearly ready for roof. Pretty much is. And then on Sunday, I had the digger man round to level the whole garden off.
Was it a mini digger?
A micro digger.
How did they get it in the back garden?
It can fit through doorways.
It didn't come through the house, did it?
Yeah.
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
Where did it go?
Went down the side.
Oh, I was going to say.
Well, you know how tight that side is.
Yeah, how did
that digger fit down there?
Did it?
Yeah.
I'd love to see that. Did you go on
Well, that's why it always takes longer with a digger that size, obviously.
Yeah, because our neighbour's being Mardy.
Yeah, it wasn't being very helpful. Originally agreed to it and then he didn't.
Our neighbour wouldn't let us lift a fence panel up, so we had to get a micro digger instead of a normal digger.
Yeah, so the normal digger, the 2.5 digger, big one, would have got the job done quite quickly.
Yeah.
The footings and all the levelling off, but that wasn't to be. Never mind. It just made my life harder.
The good thing is, instead of there being a mound of mud in the garden now, a big massive, mole on steroids, molehill, there's now just flat mud.
And you didn't believe me that soil had been levelled off nice.
It is now.
You thought we'd have to get rid of, there was too much in there.
No, it's all good.
I
was
told
wrong.
you, I kept saying all along, you'll be surprised how much that goes away.
It was good. The only thing now is it's just mud, so we need to get some grass on there.
Yeah.
Are we going to do that tomorrow night?
Yeah, I might get some seed after work tomorrow or something.
And then because I think we should start getting it growing before we go to France.
Yeah, although I do still have some sleepers and stuff because it's like terraced up now, but that could always... I'd like to get it done before we go, but if I don't have
It'll
time...
it'd be nice to get some grass in before we go, although it might all die.
The grass is more important.
It might all die while we're
away.
away.
Well, it won't die because my labourer kindly said he will come and water it, seeing as they were only working around the corner.
Oh, that's a good idea.
After work, twice a week or something, 3 times a week.
Oh, that's good.
He'll come and water it and check up on it. He said it could be his little project.
Oh, great. So we get back and we
I'm going to leave him some grass feed.
Yeah.
And he knows where the hose is because he's been working plenty at my house recently.
It might be a meadow when we get back.
It might be pretty. You'll get back and he's probably mowed it all in nice, perfect lines.
That'll be great. And then we've just got to do the patio, decking, the sleepers to put the flowers around. We've got quite a lot to do, but I'm not going to think about all of that right now.
Some of that could be while we're in Frank's job.
What do you mean? Well, who's going to do the magic fairy?
Josh does sleepers.
Plumbing out, basically making your labourer do it all. I feel bad for him.
Well, he's trying to go to Australia next year, so...
No, I think I'd rather wait till we get back because it's quite expensive to pay people to do it. I think I could put some sleepers in. All you have to do is carry them and shove them in the ground, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's why I'm not doing it at the minute.
I don't mind helping.
That's easy as that.
If we can save the $1, I will help when we get back. Because when we get back from France, let's be honest, I'm going to have a bit of time off the bike.
Yeah, well, it's time to me to ramp up when you're back from France.
I'm going to have a bit of time off the bike. I'm going to have distractions. I've already got the upstairs bedroom to paint, so that's going to be a distraction, and the wardrobe to paint. But I could put some sleepers in.
Not to be offensive.
Yeah.
But you haven't got the biggest arms in the world.
Yeah. Well, I can work on them.
And I think you underestimate how heavy those sleepers are going to be.
Mini ones.
Yeah, what do you want to do? Put loads of 100-odd pieces in.
Yeah.
Which take absolutely ages. No.
It can't be that heavy.
Either way, I might do it before I go away.
How
I might
heavy
do it
are
when I
they?
get back. Extremely heavy.
Also, I don't want anyone to do it on our way because I want to see what's happening.
Okay.
I want to know,
I want a job that I'll be doing then.
I know I'm a bit of a control freak and I happily admit that.
Although you've not liked it recently because I've been in control.
I really want the garden to be nice and, I'm not saying Josh won't do it nice. I'm sure he will. But, I like to be there to see the placement of where the flowers are going to go. He might make the verge too big or too small. I just want it to be nice. Because this is our forever home, so I'd want it to be good. So I'd rather wait.
Oh, now I've done an extension. It's a forever home, is it?
Good things come to those who wait. Well, it's the home we have until we maybe one day be able to live in the countryside with a real fire. Because that's always been my dream.
Well, that's something I'd like to do here, but that's a job for another day.
What do you mean, something you'd like to do here?
What,
teleport the house to the countryside?
Well, not the countryside bit, but the real fire bit.
No, my dream in life, ever since I was a kid, has always been to have a house in the countryside with a real fire. I don't know why.
Well, we can just buy an old pig shed.
No. I'm not
doing it.
I don't want to live anywhere else where we need to do building work because it's so horrible.
Yeah, but it's going to be worth it.
I can't describe, there's bits everywhere. I hoovered. I swear I hoover this house like 5 times a week and there's still bits. There's bits there on the TV stand.
Yeah, you won't like it at the stage when we do actually knock through. But you'll actually...
I will not be here
You'll probably
when we
move
do
to your
that.
mum's house for the week.
I will definitely move to mum's because I can't cope with bits at all.
You'd be following it around with a brush.
I'm saving bits for my own minute.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, so yeah, that's a progress update. It's looking a lot different, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's looking nowhere near as messy.
It's much better. Oh, in other news, last week you would have seen on the YouTube, we got to meet Bradley Wiggins.
We did. That was a very exciting
That
time.
was
And
really
what
exciting.
a legend.
Basically, we just got invited to this velodrome in London because near the end of the year there's like an event called London 3-Day, which is where it's a 3-day track cycling event. It's like the only multi-day one in the UK. So we got invited to go and have a taster session and meet Bradley Wiggins, and I thought, hell to the no, am I turning that down? Even though I hate track riding. I'm I don't hate watching it. I've never watched it live. I like watching it on the telly.
We've always liked watching it on TV.
It's really exciting, but the track is not for me. Honestly, you'll see on the video. I went up to the blue line and I felt like I was like really high up. And I've looked at the video and I'm literally like a few metres, not even a metre up. And I felt like I was really high, but I
I
wasn't.
don't think anyone actually went right to the top, did they?
Yeah, the guy did.
He went close to the top, but he didn't actually go right up to the boards.
No, it was too scary. But it wasn't as scary as Derby Velodrome, Lee Valley.
I feel like Derby's scarier.
Derby looked much more steep and bigger. I don't know why.
But someone, it was Laura Kenny, was saying about it's more technical apparently, Derby.
Yeah, apparently Derby's a bit more bumpy or something.
Oh, it's the angle or something.
The
I can't
angle.
remember what it was, but there was
The angle's
something that made
worse.
it more technical.
But yeah, so that was a really good day. But it was a busy day, and it was like we got up at 5 a.m. and we didn't get home till 11 p.m. And then the next day was when I was riding to Scotland.
Yeah.
But in a way, although that makes me stressed because I don't like going to bed late, I like to go to bed by 10 p.m. Otherwise I get stressed. I don't know why. It was kind of good to be riding feeling tired because that's what I'm going to be like in France.
We call it simulation.
Simulation, yeah.
I stole that off your coach.
But, did you?
Yeah.
But also, I've got a little thing to solve while we're here, Kyle, because when we were in London, we were walking through the busy streets of London, and Kyle said, "Oh, it's really bleak here." And I thought...
I've completely forgot about that.
I know, but it's been in my head since. And because I thought...
Could you like prove me wrong, don't you?
Well, we'll find out who's right in a minute, because I thought bleak is what you say... Like, the word bleak to me is what you say in, like, a moorland. I'm going to Google it, Kyle, because I want the satisfaction. I want to Google it. Basically, I thought that... What did you think bleak meant, Kyle?
Bleak, like dull, grey.
Because I thought it meant, like, nothing there. Whereas London, to me, is not bleak. London's busy. So let's see. I'm going to Google, what does bleak mean? Right, hang on.
I suppose what I was saying there was right.
Well, what's yours saying? Bleak. Let's look at the online dictionary. Dictionary definition. Because I just thought bleak means nothing there kind of thing, like barren. English dictionary. Let's look at the Cambridge Dictionary and see what it says. Bleak. Hang on. I think I spelled it wrong. Oh no, I didn't. Here we go. It's an advert popping up. If a place is bleak, it is empty and not welcoming or attractive.
Yeah, so
An example, the house stands on a bleak, windswept hilltop. That is not the definition you said. We were walking through a busy street in London, Kyle, when you said it's bleak.
No, so what I was saying about London,
Yeah.
the particular area that it was in at the time,
Yeah.
I was saying it was all bleak because there didn't seem to be any like form of life. It was dull, it was miserable, which is the exact
No,
meaning of
you
bleak.
did not. You said
Yes,
it's bleak because it's grey. Weather.
Yeah, grey, like, as in, no, yeah.
To be fair, the bleak, that is right.
Cold and
because
miserable.
It says here as well, bleak weather is cold and unpleasant.
Cold and uninviting, mine saying. Barren and empty. It's not
Yeah,
barren.
that's what I mean. Barren
No,
and
that's
empty.
one of the particular meanings.
Right.
Lacking hope or charm. I'd say that's probably right for London. Sorry to all Londoners. Desolate.
That's definitely not desolate.
Grim or dreary. That's basically what I was saying.
I would agree with that.
So I've just typed in, can you describe somewhere as bleak? A bleak place is described as cold, barren, uninviting, lacking warmth or hope. It may also be categorised as by emptiness, desolation, and general lack of beauty or charm.
You just offended everyone that lives in London.
That's everyone's entitled to an opinion. Like I've always said, London's not the place for me. I'm okay there for a day or two.
Yeah.
3 at a push.
I'm more of a countryside girl.
Yeah, it's just I'm not a big fan of like big buildings everywhere and.
I couldn't do it.
Just,
it's nice.
I've never
to go
lived in
for,
a city, so.
Yeah, it's nice to go for a day, but I couldn't live in a city.
Well, I kind of have lived in a city because I lived in Derby City Centre, but it's not quite the same.
Everyone seems a bit like, you know, they don't want to help you. They're just a bit rushing around and everyone looks stressed.
Yeah, it's just too
barging out the way on a
fast
tube
paced.
train.
Everyone looks worried. Like
If you say hi to someone, it looks like
every man for himself, sort of
If
thing.
you say hi or half do a smile, people look the other way and think you're blooming
When
insane.
you're going to the beach, someone can't wait to say hello to you because you're probably the first person they've seen in 2 weeks.
Yeah, the more north you go, I think the more likely people are to say hi. Although when I go on my morning dog walk, I do a challenge where I don't take my phone, and when when people walk past, I like smile and say hi, and most people don't look at me.
Although
Most people look at their phones.
you find it funny when I do that because I almost force people to say hello to me.
And you're like, you're right.
Because I really
Laura, my friend Laura,
Yeah.
she's the right one for that. She really goes for it. She's like, whenever I'm on a walk with her, she really's like, hi, yeah, you're all right. Like, really, like...
I sort of make a
full
point
on.
of making it impossible for them not to say hello to me.
I do it out of my comfort zone, because if it was up to me, I'd look down and walk on. But I try to... I think
No, I
it's
don't
good
know. I
for you
think
to
it's. I know.
have those little
I know
interactions.
we were talking before, like in the past about me being grumpy in the mornings and stuff. But get me in the day, I'm
You're
as
happy.
chirpy as anyone.
Yeah,
I'm probably a bit too chirpy for some people, and probably
You
a
are.
little bit excitable. I like to know. I like to chat. It's nice.
yeah. Anyway, turning away from chirpy to moaning,
Oh.
it's time for the moan minute. So this is where we moan about whatever we want to for 1 minute, get the moan out, it makes you feel better, no offence taken. Kyle, do you want to go first?
What can I moan about?
You've not got anything to moan about. You must have
I'm gonna have a moan about no.
Right, I'm going to get
I
the
was gonna
timer
have a
ready.
moan about you then, but
No, go on, I want you to. Because
I
my moan's a little bit about you. So.
I never moan about you either.
Oh, go
Well,
on
I have
then.
got a moan for you today.
Right, go on
In
then.
fact, you're having it.
I'm ready
you
for
can
this.
have the moan.
3, 2, 1, action.
My moan minute this week is when Amy decides to. So she can be a bit grumpy with me sometimes, but she'll save the things to moan at me about when I'm at work, and she'll text me like really grumpy messages. Then I'm at work, so then I don't know what that's achieving because I can't solve the things she's moaning about, and at the same time, all she's doing is then stressing me out and putting me in a bad mood. So then I just think in my head, what's the point in actually telling me over text while I'm at work, making me feel horrible, when you could just save it when I get home and I can solve it. So yeah, that's my moan
You've
minute.
still got 20 seconds.
And that's all I need. I don't want to go too much.
What did I
but
moan about? You can share that.
I can't even remember what it was, but I remember you texted me something, maybe yesterday or something like that, and you moaned about something. And I think you have been tired recently because you've been training. So I took that into consideration. So I didn't actually get grumpy at you back.
3, 2.
But, no, I'm just explaining.
Oh, okay. The moan minute's done, but you can carry on.
Didn't actually get grumpy at your back. But
No.
I remember thinking in my head, like, why does she always do this and save it to when I get to work? Although you do moan at me in person as well.
Sorry about that.
But I always think in my head, like, what's the point in texting me that
I think
while I'm
it's
at work?
because
I've got enough on my plate.
when something annoys me, I just want to tell you.
Yeah.
Because I think I'd rather tell you on the text so that then we don't have a proper argument.
No, I
when we
sort
go.
of get it, but in my head, I'm sort of like, I've got enough on my plate at work, and then
Yeah.
I get a moany text. I'm like,
I know what
I
the
can't
moan was
actually
about.
achieve anything here.
I know what the moan is because it's what my moan minute is, so you can find out.
Oh.
You can jog your memory
Well, I
in a
don't
minute.
need to find out because I probably know.
So sorry about that. Right, is it
I
my
can't
turn
remember I
now?
can't remember what it was. That's how much I took it in.
Is it my turn now?
Yes, let me get the timer up.
Sorry about that.
So it's actually quite nice.
Welcome to
Both
married life.
Both of our moans tie in nicely together.
Yeah, that's actually
which is a first.
we've actually planned this quite well.
Right, 3, 2, 1.
Right, my moan minute, and this is what I did text you about the other day, is the garage gym floor. Because that place in there is where I do my yoga, my cycling. It's meant to be relaxing. We had a rule. We spent all this money putting gym flooring in, making it nice. I've painted it. You built it, I painted it. I opened the door the day after getting back from Scotland, bearing in mind I've cycled 480 kilometres to go and do some yoga and stretching. And what I can describe is there was more mud than floor. Boot prints all over the floor. And after the rule of no shoes in the gym, I did text you because I thought I am angry about this. So I text Kyle saying I took a photo of the gym floor and I messaged it to you and I said something like, for God's sake, I thought there was no shoes allowed in the gym. Now I've got to spend time cleaning this up before I do my workout. And then I had to wipe all the yoga mat and then it was wet while I was doing my workout and there were still bits all over my skin and it was horrible. And it's still dirty in there because I've cleaned the yoga mat and I'm refusing
She
to clean the
didn't
floor.
clean the rest of it.
I just cleaned the bit I needed to.
That actually just reminded me, because then in my head, going on to my mode again,
Yeah.
is when you text me that, I was thinking, I had started chuntering away to myself. I was
Yeah.
thinking, I've been working hard all weekend. I don't think she knows how much I've struggled this weekend doing all that, and she's going to moan about a few footprints in the
It
garage.
wasn't a few. The
No,
whole floor's covered in
all seriousness,
footprints.
the only access I had into the new extension that I built was by hopping over the wall. And I think it was the last time I hopped over the wall and I was like, for goodness sake, I forgot something at the garage again. And then I'm going to have to hop
So you
back
couldn't be
over that
bothered to
wall.
take your shoes
And in
off?
the end, I was just like, I'll just nip in. My boots look quite clean. I'll just nip in and grab
Nip
my
in?
charger.
What did you do? 5 laps, 6 laps of it?
It's not
Because it's
that
all
bad.
over the floor.
It's not that bad.
You did not nip in.
But
Just be honest.
I think both points are valid.
Let's be honest. You had your boots on all day walking in and out of there.
And then she said, I don't care about looking after it, but I do because I built most of it.
Kyle, be honest. You did not just walk through there once.
Maybe twice.
More than twice.
Only because I had to keep hopping over a wall.
I don't care if you had to hop over Mount Everest. That gym is meant to be kept clean.
Yeah, well, that point's been taken.
Because it's really annoying because the gym floor is grooved and now there's like dried mud and
Well, I have
it's
said
so hard
I'll
to get it
clean
off. Yeah, you have, and you're too right you will. Because I've cleaned all the house today. So I'm not all bad.
No, I'm not saying you're bad. I'm just saying...
I do moan.
I think
sometimes,
everyone,
I think every married couple moans at each
couple
other.
has it. Yeah, but I do always find it... I find it especially irritating if I'm at work.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of like... I'm brushed off my feet. I've got enough to be dealing with. And the last thing I want to be thinking about is the thing
I'm kind of just giving you like, a little pre-warning of when you get home. There might be something I'm angry about.
Yeah, it did carry on.
And then also it means that if I've messaged you to tell you, normally by the time you got home, I'm not really bothered about it anymore.
Yeah, it did carry on when I got home, that one.
That one did,
That really ground gears.
Because that really ground my gullet, because I really don't like bits on my skin. And I was doing my yoga and I was lying on my back and I just little bits.
But I did take into consideration you'd also been quite tired.
Yeah, I was tired.
The struggle for me was I thought, oh, she's not seen any of this from our point of view. But it was lazy. There's no denying that. But I wasn't being lazy all weekend. So
No,
I
never said that.
No, I know you didn't. But I'm saying that was just in my head. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, you were tired. I was tired, but we've made up now.
Yeah.
And I think
we didn't actually fall out.
No, we didn't actually fall out. You just got angry. I got angry, and that was it. But I think in every marriage or relationship, you're not going to get on all the time. No. If you do, then blooming heck, maybe you don't speak to each other.
Well, you're running a house together.
Yeah.
You're both working. You're both doing stuff.
I think it's good to be able to talk about stuff and.
It's good to be open that you have bickers. It's just normal.
Also, after you've had a bicker, you always feel a bit better.
Yeah, you did actually ask me for a kiss when you were on the turbo yesterday.
Did I?
And apologise to me.
I did apologise to you. I said I'm sorry for being mardy. Because to be fair, I was running on limited sleep. And I was feeling a bit stressed because I'd spent all day ordering stuff for Tour de France and watching the money in the account go down.
Yeah.
Which is never a nice feeling. And then I walked in the garage to try and do something relaxing and I was just greeted by mud. And I was just like, I think
I've got a bit of an early get up this weekend.
What? Oh yeah, you're doing a long ride, aren't you?
Yes.
But yeah, upcoming ride plans then, I'm literally tapering now. So I'm doing shorter rides. I think I'm doing this weekend 2.5 hours on Saturday, an hour or 2 hours on Sunday. And then the weekend before I start, my coach has put in a ride Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday to do a little mini multi-day activation. But it's not long. It's the maximum ride's 3 hours just to get my legs turning. And then off to France. But Kyle, you're doing 300k this weekend?
Yeah, so I had a couple of choices, but I think the one I'm opting for is Shrewsbury.
Yeah.
It's going to be a nice 300k into Wales.
Yeah.
On a lot of roads we've ridden on before, which Amy took me on for her birthday tour last year.
Yeah.
And I think I'm opting for that because I feel like I deserve... Yes, it's going to be hilly, but it's going to be very scenic.
Yeah.
And I could quite easily go and do a flat 300, but...
You deserve the views.
I feel like, yeah, I'm going to have to work harder.
By the time this podcast's gone out, actually, that you would have already done it.
Yeah.
So, and you're going to YouTube it, aren't you?
And now I've said it, I can't back out.
And you're going to YouTube it?
I'm going to YouTube it. So I'm going to be taking my trusty little camera that I actually quite like.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
No, you can take the GoPro because the sound on that one's rubbish.
Right, okay, so I've got to take the GoPro.
It doesn't have a...
I like the little one though because it's easier to manhandle.
It is little, but it doesn't... You can't hear you properly and the sound is so bad on it, so you need the GoPro.
Can't just take the mics?
No.
Clip the mic to my jersey?
You could take the mic and clip it to your jersey, but the problem is the camera will literally last about half an hour if you do that.
Yeah. So, no, either way, I'm going to film it. I'm going to try and practice filming a little bit more.
Yeah, because you could film it and edit it yourself, which would be good practice.
Yeah, so I did film Anita Arrow earlier in the year, but I'm going to try and capture a little bit more footage this time. Well, let's be honest, the video I made last time was 10 minutes footage from 400k.
Yeah, we need to work on that a bit.
It's not great, is it?
It's okay. Anyway, we'll move on to Love Me and Lump Me.
Thought you was going to say something else there.
No, what's one thing I've done this week that makes me love you more? And what's one thing I've done this week that makes you love me less?
I think you know what.
I know the love me less one.
I think that's well established.
The text
so
about the gym.
I don't need to say that again.
Yeah.
Just work on it, please. It's a point to you.
Yeah.
The thing that makes me love you more is that I've knowing how hard you work in training. Also working a lot. Because even though you've gone full-time... No, I'm not going to say influencer because you're not an influencer. Full-time athlete is what I'm going to say. Now you've gone full-time doing that, I feel like you've had a lot on your plate. If not, you've been busier than ever. And I'm really proud of you for all the hard training you've been putting in, even though I know you've not always wanted to go and do that. It's not easy to always motivate yourself, especially when I've not been riding with you.
Thanks.
So, yeah. So what's your thing that's made you love me and love me less?
Well, you know the love you less is the gym
No,
floor.
it's going to be the same thing.
So that's the same thing.
Nothing else?
No.
Come on, give me some more negative.
What do you mean give you some more negative? You want me to make you angry?
No, Joe, get them out of your system.
Can't think of anything else. There's been no cheese gratings cheese gratings this week. I mean, if you really want me to think of something, I could.
Oh, I'm sure you could.
I'm trying to think of something.
I can think of something.
What?
How long's this bike wheel been in the house for?
Oh yeah, there's a bike wheel in the dining room that's been there. It should be in the garage, but
Yeah.
anyway. Love you more is how hard you've worked over the weekend, because you have done a really good job of getting the extension up, getting the garden done. You do work really hard, and
Can I just point out, with help from
with help from the
Smile
digger driver.
Brickwork friends.
With help from the digger driver, and yeah, I'm just proud of how hard you work and how you just get stuff done, and you don't really moan about it, unless you're in a really bad mood. You do moan then, but you know.
I don't think I ever moan about working hard. I just get tired.
You get on with it, don't you?
Yeah.
So I'm really proud of you for, just how hard you work and how supportive you are of me, because I wouldn't be able to do.
I find it quite tricky actually
without
with
you.
that. I really like that, but I have found it tricky not being able to ride as much.
Yeah.
Sorry, I keep rubbing my leg.
Yeah, you do.
I had an itch.
But yeah, you'll be able to ride more. And in France, you'll be riding. And then when we get back from France, we've got some big rides together. Because I need to do my 600k and 400k for my randonnée around the year. Carl, you've not done your 600k yet. So we're going to do 600k together, aren't we? In August or September, probably September. And we're going to do a 400 as well. So, which you'll probably just do with me for the fun of it, won't you?
Yeah, I'm always happy to do a 400. Do quite like 400.
So we'll be able to ride together.
300 is actually my favourite though.
300 is my favourite as well.
I feel like that's a full day out riding.
Yeah, it's a really good
200 is a little bit short, aren't they?
Yeah, 200 is a bit short now, but not for most normal people, just for us.
No, just feel like 300 is a perfect.
I don't want to downgrade what anyone does, because like a 200k for a majority of people, 200k is a massive distance to be really proud of. And a lot of pros, like even the pro woman we spoke to who's never done a 200k.
Eleanor Bark once never done.
Yeah. So like if you do a 200k, that is a massive, massive achievement. I'm not downgrading that at all.
No,
we're just used to it now, aren't we?
Yeah, that's not downplaying it at all.
No.
I'm saying like everyone's individual.
Yeah.
And I feel like the 300 is a full day riding for us.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's still a long day.
Yeah.
But it's like a full day.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, we're going to leave you with a mental health tip. My current mental status at the minute is simmering. I'm just simmering along, feeling okay. Every so often I'm feeling stressed. I'm thinking about Tour de France a lot, but I think that's normal. And I'm trying to just relax as much as I can. So I'm doing reminding myself that when you focus on your breathing, it's a really easy way to calm yourself down, just counting your breaths. And my tip this week is that you can only do your best. So whatever it is you're doing in your life, whether it's in work, whether it's cooking, whether it's, looking after your family, or whatever it is you do, you can only do your best. And you've got to just remind yourself that your best is good enough, and that you have to put yourself first sometimes as well. Because I know it's a common saying, but you can't look after anyone else if you're not looking after yourself.
Very true.
This week, try and do one nice thing for yourself, whether that's buy yourself a bunch of flowers, treat yourself to a coffee from a coffee shop.
Book yourself a massage.
Book yourself a massage, but it doesn't have to be something that costs money.
No, it doesn't.
Because not everyone can do that. It could just be have a nice bath.
Or have a nice minute sitting down in the garden or something, enjoying the sun.
Yeah, read a bit of a book. If you can get just a little bit of time for you, moisturise your hands.
Do you know something I quite like to do every now and then?
What?
I know it sounds really weird, and I don't think you've ever noticed this about me.
Go on then.
But sometimes I'll just go and stand in the garden,
Yeah.
and I'll lean up something, and I'll just look
Look at the sky.
and just listen.
Yeah, I like that.
And I just like the sound of, not necessarily nature, but I just like looking around and thinking, wow.
Sometimes I do that, like when I'm on Chester's Walk, if I feel like, on my phone and stuff, I've started leaving my phone at home, but I'll just like look up at the sky and like looking at the patterns in the clouds and stuff.
No, it's just,
Makes you feel calm.
there's something about it that's just simple.
Yeah.
Looking around, it's you just looking
Back to
and
basics.
enjoying it. Yeah, like it almost reminds you of when you was a kid and you had nothing to do and you just be sat in your garden looking around.
Yeah, I always think that, like, I wish I could go back to being a kid and having such, like, no responsibility.
I think it's a bit like that though, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's that.
be back to being a kid again.
So,
Although when I was a kid, I used to get really stressed about my homework and stuff. I wish I didn't do that. If you're a kid listening to this, don't worry too much. Sorry for parents, but don't worry too much about your homework. Get it done, do your best, but go and play with your mates.
I didn't worry about homework and look where I am.
Yeah. Play with your mates and have a good time and know that exams aren't the be all and end all.
Although try hard.
Although I did get all A stars in my exams. But,
yeah. Although I probably would still try your best and
yeah, definitely try your best. But
aim for what you want to aim for.
Yeah, aim high, but no, like I'm saying, your best is good enough. And it's
Yes.
important to enjoy your life and enjoy yourself and, have that time. So
Don't let all that take over.
yeah. Don't argue with your husband or wife too much about gym floors because there's much more.
Well, luckily we don't argue
There's
too
much more things in life than a muddy gym floor, basically.
I always like to say, if that's the things we're arguing about, we're doing all right.
Exactly. But anyway, Chester is currently flat out on the floor.
He's
asleep.
not even moving.
He looks so cute. He's like laying out with one leg stretched, one leg bent, doing a bit of a model pose. And he's just so cute. But Chester, do you want your din-dins? He's just woken up now.
An eye opened.
One eye opened, but his head hasn't come up.
His
so
ear did twitch.
He's tight. Do you want your dinner? Your din-dins? Blooming heck, he's
Not even budging.
I did take him on a 45-minute walk in the rain this morning and he wasn't happy.
He hates the rain, doesn't
He hates the rain and he was literally like, he was going close to me to get under my umbrella.
At the weekend when you was away,
Yeah.
I had to take him out and all he wanted to do was come back. He wasn't very happy.
Really?
But I dragged him down the track in the rain. He was not best
He
pleased.
doesn't like the rain.
No. But he looks very cute.
He's a lounge around dog.
Yes. Couple of walks there and he just wants to sleep.
Yeah, he has a little burst of energy and that's about it. And normally around his dinner time, telling us he wants it. But even today, it's his dinner time now and he's not bothered.
I got home from work. He was lying at the top of the stairs. Came down to greet me. Had a quick scramble round me and then went back upstairs, laid down.
I know, he's tired.
But no, he's a good boy.
I'm spending as much time with him as I can before we go to France. But he's going to be well looked after because he's staying with my mum and dad half the time and your grandma and granddad half the time. And he loves it, both of those
We
places.
did think to take him, but he'd be much happier here.
Yeah, we were going to bring him to France, but first of all, you have to get a dog passport, £1,000 for all the
Yeah.
immunisations. But it's not just that; it's the fact that he wouldn't like it. It'd be too hot for him.
He wouldn't want to be in the car all the time.
Can't have him in the car, and then it'd be an extra
walking
stress for
him
you
and-
walking him, and all the accommodation would have to be dog friendly. It'd just be too much of a hassle.
He'd be much happier
And
here.
it'd be way too hot for him. He would hate it. It would have been cruel to take him. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. One more episode left before Tour de France. So, yeah. Thank you. That's all I can say, really.
Yeah, it's been good.
Enjoy your evening or your day,
Yeah.
whatever time you're listening to this at.
Indeed.
We're going to go and have some dinner now.
I'm ready for it.
Sorry, Carl, it's fish tonight.
It's not, is it? I thought you said I was having my
Or do you want an omelette? I'm going to have fish tomorrow. Or do
omelette. Sounds
you
good.
want omelette? Okay, we'll have omelettes then. All right, then. Goodbye.
Arrivederci.